Welcome to another edition of Crossbody Work Drafts. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
And since it is Elimination Chamber season, we will be drafting the best matches to take place at an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view or premium live event, whatever you want to call it. Now,
Yes.
most of these are going to be Elimination Chamber matches.
Not all.
Not
but
all.
A good
There
chunk
are
of
some.
them.
There are some good ones that aren't Elimination Chamber matches. If you're ranking the best Elimination Chamber matches, of course, I think the first one would be very high on the list.
There have been a bunch of good ones. Yeah, I think the one where it's Cena wins and it's like Carlito, Chris Masters, all these other people. I think Edge comes out afterwards. So
That was the New Year's Revolution one, yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
I remember watching the first one at 11 years old and being like, this is the craziest concept anyone's ever seen. So
and then there are some good ones that are going to be drafted by us
that
here.
are eligible for drafting today. Are there any matches on this year's Elimination Chamber card that you think could be in this upper echelon by the time they're done?
I think match quality wise, the men's one could be.
Men's one could be, yeah.
But as far as like star power and like story and all this other stuff, not really. Maybe the women's one could surprise us all because it's got some good people in there too. Same thing with both of those matches could easily be work rate wise some of the better chamber matches we've had, but
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the pay-per-view as a whole, as of now, has just kind of left us with a little bit of a meh.
You apologize to big strong boy Tyler Bate and his British friend Pete. You be nice to them. They get tag title shots. Isn't
First
that
off,
nice?
Pete Dunne, my favorite wrestler. How dare you say that to me?
Yeah, his little friend Pete. All right, so on this, we're going to be drafting 5, going back and forth. Javier has the draft dime that I will call in the air. This week, it is going to be heads.
It is sadly tails.
Sadly for me, happily for you. All right, so you have the first pick, Javier. Who do you have for your first choice?
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of a no-brainer one. There are only a handful of matches that aren't chamber matches that should be like taken, and I feel like the way this draft kind of works is we kind of have to like scramble to pick those first and then work on the chamber matches.
Kind of, yeah.
And my pick is, in my opinion, the best of these matches, which is the Shield versus the Wyatt Family from Elimination Chamber 2014.
Son of a bitch. That was my first pick. That was what I had. What a good match.
It's a hell of a match.
I'm just happy that they had 2 electric trios and they pulled the trigger on actually having them meet. Like, that's a great idea. Like, that was the selling point of Elimination Chamber 2014. Like, that was the point.
Yeah, I mean, it was that. Was Brian in the chamber match? I do not remember. I didn't watch it live, obviously, because it was still during my lull period, technically. But, yeah, I feel like if Brian was in the Elimination Chamber match, I guess that might be an appeal to it. But if not, then yeah, that's it. That's literally all they had.
Oh, for some reason it's not loading, but I assume he was. I assume he was in the chamber in 2014, but
couldn't tell you.
That's all right. Couldn't tell you yet. Pro-Fight DB failing me again. All right. I agree with your logic of, hey, there are certain non-chamber matches that need to get picked. So that informs my next decision. Last year, 2023, Montreal, Quebec, Canada, a fantastic singles match. So much heart and soul. Reigns versus Zayn, 2023 Elimination Chamber.
Hell of a match, hell of a story, hell of a moment, hell of a crowd. Just everything about it was beautiful. It was in contention for the first overall pick for me, but my thing was, it is really hard to not find a championship match, and I found the best one.
Hold on, I'm letting you know, Daniel Bryan was in that chamber match with Randy Orton won to retain the title, John Cena, Sheamus, Cesaro, and Christian.
Oh, that's solid, actually.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, what do you have for your second pick?
My second pick, you've sliced and diced me with that one. That one hurt, the fact that you just took Sammy versus Roman, but kudos to you. It's probably the best overall match we could have picked of the bunch. This is kind of tough to me. I still want to lean away from the chamber matches, so with that, I'll pick what probably falls in as the third best elimination chamber pay per view match, which is Kevin Owens versus John Cena from the Elimination Chamber 2015.
Damn it. That is the next non-elimination chamber match I have on my list, but it's not the next match listed for me. There are a couple chamber matches I would put ahead of that match, including this one that is a personal favorite. I'm going to just start listing them in order of how they're listed on Pro Fight DB and end with the winner. The Miz, John Cena, Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, and our winner, Bray Wyatt. The 2017 SmackDown Elimination Chamber match for the WWE World Championship was and still is, I think, my favorite overall chamber match.
I thought I could get away
really
with
like
one
it.
more round.
Was that your like top ranked chamber match?
That was my top ranked chamber match. Yeah.
It's so
if I
good.
can't have the 2006, if I can't have the 2006 New Year's Revolution one, which I can't, it's 2017.
It was such a good match.
It's a good match, good moment.
The Wyatt win was a surprise. People were genuinely shocked.
Yeah,
just like they were with the Kevin Owens debut when he beat the shit out of John Cena.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's like I know what the whole story was. I know we shouldn't have been super surprised because Randy won the Rumble, and it only made sense that if Bray Wyatt wins the Elimination Chamber, then they face off at WrestleMania, right? It's like the culmination of their story. But like part of me, even in the moment, was like, oh, they're finally just going to do Cena versus Orton at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not going to do it.
They're finally just going to do Cena versus Orton.
It is very telling that we never believe WWE will give us what we think is a good thing. Anyways, number 3. What do you got?
Oh, that's tough, man. I don't know if I have to go the chamber route yet. Actually, I'm going to go. This is going to be a strategy pick because there is. I think it's honestly might be the only match really that you can kind of pick of the bunch. I'm going to go with the inaugural Women's Tag Team Elimination Chamber from 2019 that was won by the Boston Hug Connection. I remember being pretty decent, a little sloppy, but pretty decent as a match. And I would say as far as the women's chamber matches have gone, it's probably the best of the bunch. So I'm going to go with that one.
I remember it being like there were enough tag teams at one time, and I was like, this is great. Like there was Bayley and Sasha, there were the Iconics, there was Mandy and Sonya, Nia and Tamina were a team. I was like, okay, like there's enough teams. You have a whole women's division for tag team, and then they never know how to do it. They're so bad at doing it. Oh, okay. Hey, what a great show 2019 is. What a great Elimination Chamber 2019 is. So let's just go to the main event of Elimination Chamber 2019. This is a personal bias pick because this is part of the Kofi Mania story.
This was going to be my next pick.
I love Kofi Kingston. So I will take when Daniel Bryan wins the Elimination Chamber in 2019 against Styles, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton, and Samoan Joseph.
That's tough. That's a tough one for me. I shouldn't have let that slide. But you know what? I went strategy over that, so it's fine.
It's fine.
My fourth pick, you know what? You have a chamber match where Daniel Bryan wins, so I'm going to have a chamber match where Daniel Bryan wins. I'm going to go with the 2012 Elimination Chamber, literally just because of the final sequence where Daniel Bryan and Santino Marella are going at it. I think that overall it's a pretty good match. But that end sequence of the match is what really takes it over the top for me. And I think it's a pretty underrated match because people only really remember that moment. But overall, pretty solid.
Yeah, I think it's remembered for the Santino thing, but it really should have been a little bit more like well remembered for the rest of the matches.
Yeah.
Also, Daniel Bryan is Mr. Elimination Chamber. Did you know that?
Oh, is he?
I would say so. In terms of he's 3 for 5 in Elimination Chamber matches, and all of them have happened at Elimination Chamber pay-per-views. I think he might be. Yeah, he might be Mr. Elimination Chamber.
Did he win one after
2021?
Oh, he did win in 21.
Yeah. So I think he might be Mr. Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I mean, who else would it really be? Like he makes the best case of the bunch, I guess. If you're ranking it that way, I'm sure he's had some pretty decent singles matches along the way
He had
too.
a really good match against Gulak at 2020. I remember when they were
Yeah,
kind of pushing Drew Gulak. Not where I'm going with the next pick. I like that Drew
I
Gulak
remember a
match.
Ted DiBiase Jr. match too. That was okay.
That's the only way you can describe a Ted DiBiase Jr. match is okay. Let's go with what I think is my favorite of the women's Elimination Chamber matches now that you have picked the tag one, which is for the Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania 39. It is Asuka winning in 2023. I like that chamber match. I think it's pretty good. Not the best field, I think you'd say. Like, I think feels a little mid-cardy for a bit, but in terms of the performance, Asuka and Liv Morgan specifically, really good.
I mean, I'm not picking it, but this is kind of just me throwing it out there. I think you kind of messed up. I would have gone with the 2021 that Shayna Baszler wins over that one.
That was the other one I was considering. Yeah,
I don't think either one of those two really are that good.
I know, but I wanted to have a women's
pick
chamber
'em.
match on my list and in some capacity. So
Okay, so we're down to me, right? This is my last.
yeah, your last pick.
Last pick. Stuff. I'm gonna go with a personal favorite match. This is a me match. This is a match that I'm throwing out there because I liked it a lot. Elimination Chamber 2017 wasn't just a main event. There are two notable names that aren't in the main event that are very good wrestlers. One is the winner of the Royal Rumble match, Randy Orton, and the other is Luke Harper. Those two guys had a singles match that was so freaking good. It gets forgotten about because of the Bray Wyatt moment, but those two guys went out there for like 12 minutes. It was pretty. They gave him some time too, and they went out there and they had a hell of a match. I think it's one of Harper's best matches in WWE.
It's 17 minutes.
Yeah, they gave him time.
Damn.
It's one of Harper's best matches in WWE. I think it's one of his best singles matches, period. Randy really gave him a lot that match, and they just went out there, they worked their asses off, and I want to say they stole the show, but they clearly didn't, because the moment at the end is what really everyone remembers the pay-per-view by.
Yeah, that's fair. My last pick comes down to two Elimination Chamber matches from the 2011 iteration of the show. I am torn between the one that was just like Cena, CM Punk, John Morrison, R-Truth, Randy Orton, and Sheamus. But instead, I know you would never pick this guy, so I could leave it to last. I have Edge defending the World Heavyweight Championship in Elimination Chamber against Drew McIntyre, not the one we know now, the Chosen One type era, Mysterio, Kane, Big Show, and Wade Barrett.
I'm all set with that.
I know, you hate Edge. You hate Edge more than anyone hates Edge. So I knew I could wait.
I don't like Adam Copeland either.
I considered
Screw Aries.
I considered McIntyre winning in 2021. I did have Rollins versus Ambrose from 2015 when they were still in the midst
I
of
did
their
too.
feud.
The dusty finish.
Yeah, very dusty. I also had Shield versus Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus in 2013, but
solid.
It's lessened by how much better the Wyatt family is a year later.
Oh, so we have to. You didn't mention it, but I feel like it does need to be mentioned because there are some very good performances within it. The 23 chamber, the one that the U.S. title one that Austin Theory wins. Montez Ford was so good in it.
I really hope that
this
feud with, or like this grouping of him and Lashley and Dawkins leads to a Ford breakout. That's why I'm hopeful.
Just need him to be a heel. Just let him be a heel. I know he's not going to be because they just dropped the show with him and Bianca and they need them as baby faces because they're doing the media rounds and all that jazz. Yeah. But like, let them turn heel, be together, and just like dominate for a while. Just let them do that.
Shout out to Beth Phoenix and Edge versus Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. That match was fun too. It's not great, but it's fun.
Did we cover that?
We did. We covered it in Edge's 3-parter.
Shout out.
Go listen to our Edge 3-parter. All right. You now see all of the matches that we've booked. So Javier has Shield versus the Wyatt family, Kevin Owens versus John Cena, the Women's Tag Chamber from 2019, Bryan winning the Elimination Chamber in 2012, and Randy Orton versus Luke Harper, Elimination Chamber 2017. I have Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn from last year, Wyatt winning in 2017, Bryan winning in 2019, Asuka in 2023, and Edge in 2011. Wow, I went with 4 chamber matches. I didn't think I was going to do that.
I mean, I didn't make it easy for you.
You didn't. You kept picking off the ones I wanted.
Yeah, I think it's pretty competitive. I don't know who's going to win this week.
Well, it's up for the people in the comments to tell us who wins this week. Hit us up in the comments. Tell us who had the better draft and other ideas for things you want us to draft in the future. We will be back soon with another Crossbody Work Drafts. Hit subscribe. Hit like. We're on the road to 250 now in the subscribers. Isn't that nice? Join us. We'll talk to you next time.
Watch this.